Hey YouTube, it's Justin, aka Demonic Sweaters, here today with another electronic drum video tutorial. We're going to be talking about how to do a drum cover. Now I've done a video about this before, but what's special about this tutorial as compared to the old one is in this one we're not going to be using a computer to make our drum cover. The reason why I wanted to do this is I've had a lot of comments on my other video, people saying, well, all I have is a phone, I don't have a computer, I don't have editing software or anything like that. So I wanted to figure out a way to do it without any of that. And it's really not that difficult. So we're going to get to that here in a second. But before we do, let me just talk about my sponsor, which is DistroKid. DistroKid can get your music on all the streaming platforms for one low annual fee. It's only $19.99 per year and you can upload as much music as you want. And there's no extra fees for new albums or anything like that. It's just the one fee, as much music as you want, which is a really awesome deal. Some companies charge you for every single release. If you upload a single, they charge you, and then they charge you over and over again every single year for all of those releases, which is kind of insane, especially if you produce a lot of music. It's really just better to just pay the one fee and be able to upload as much as you want. Another really great thing that they have is instant Spotify verification, which basically saves you all the hassle that it is to get Spotify to verify you going through them. If you do it through DistroKid, it's really easy. You just click one button and you're verified. They also make it easier to get verified through Apple's artist service, which is another great feature. And they have things such as lyric synchronization. And they also have this really cool feature called Hyperfollow, which is basically a web page that they create that has all of your streaming music links on it. And so that way you can just share that web page with all of your fans without having to send them all these individual links. It's really great. Anyway, check out DistroKid. There's a link down below. If you use my link, you'll get an extra 7% off the already low $19.99 per year annual fee. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started on this video. As I mentioned before, we're not going to be using a computer in this tutorial, but we're going to be using a phone. We're going to be using my iPhone 11. It's just the regular 11. It's not the Pro or Pro Max or anything like that. Now, I will mention that an iPhone is a lot easier to do this with than an Android phone. I used to be a big Android user, but one of the things about the iPhone that I ended up just liking a lot better was the video camera and the features that it has being a YouTuber. Now, there are some Android phones that work almost the same as the iPhone camera, such as the Google Pixel. That is one that has external microphone support, which is really something we're going to want for this tutorial to work. If you have an iPhone, it's going to be simple and there'll be no concern whatsoever. It'll just work. Now, if you have an Android, it's going to be hit or miss. Some of them will work really well, other ones won't. It's just kind of all depending on the manufacturer and how they decided to design the camera and the microphones and all this stuff. There's a lot of variables with Android phones. If it doesn't work with your default camera on your Android, you could try downloading a third-party camera like Open Camera. And Open Camera has external microphone support, which again is what you're going to need for this to work. So Android users, just beware. It may not work, but if you have an iPhone, it's going to work just fine. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about what you're going to need. First off, it's your iPhone or your Android. Second, you're going to need a device like this. This is an iRig. It's just the simplest first version iRig. I'll post a link to this down below, and you can get these really cheap on Amazon now. I think I paid like $17 for this or something. Very cheap. And then if you're using an iPhone, you're also going to need a Lightning adapter. It's basically a Lightning audio adapter. Just to plug that into your phone. You're also going to need one more device, one that plays audio, such as an iPod like this one, or if you have another phone, that'll work, or a CD player, or stereo, or radio, or anything that you could play your song on that you want to do your drum cover of. You're going to need one of those. So I'm actually going to be using this iPod Touch. It's an old iPod Touch that I've just had for a really long time, and I'm going to use that to play my music on. And then you're going to need a cable to connect the iPod, or whatever it is that you're using, CD player or whatever the device is. So, okay, so how this is going to work, well, let me switch cameras around and I'm going to show you how I'm going to hook all this up, just so you understand how this is all working. One of the things you may be wondering is how we're going to get all the audio into this little iRig. And what I mean is like how we're going to get the music and the drums all into this one single input. Well, it's really not as hard as it may seem. And the way we're going to be doing that is if we look at my drum module here, this is a Roland TD8. But most drum modules, I would say all of them, I've never really seen one that doesn't have this feature, will have a auxiliary input. On the TD8, it's just called a mix-in stereo, and that's a 1/4 inch input, so I had to put an adapter on my little aux cable here, just a regular headphone adapter. So I'm just going to plug that into the aux input there, and then my cable I'm going to run to my, well, I was going to use the iPod, but I think I'm going to use my CD player since it's right here. It's a lot easier. So just to show you too that you could do this from a CD player, so I'm just going to run from the headphone out from my CD player into my module. Okay, now what I'm going to do is run from my master output of my module on the mono output right here. And then I'm just going to run that to the iRig, which is over here. Now, if you have an Alesis Nitro or something like that, that also has a mono output. So the reason why you want to do mono is because we only have one input to work with here. And so it's basically, you know, it's not going to be the highest quality, but it still doesn't sound that bad. It just mixes all the music into, you know, equal on both right and left speakers. So it's a mono signal, but that's okay. For what it is, it's pretty decent. And now all we have to do is when we record, we're going to listen out of the headphones on the module itself. So I'll plug my headphones into the module, and then I can hear both the music and the drums coming out of the module, and they're running from the line out of the module into the phone and then recording video at the same time. So basically what you do is you get your levels in your headphone first to the music and to your drums, and as long as it sounds good in your headphones, it should sound good here, because what you're hearing in your headphones is exactly what's going into the phone. So I'm going to go ahead and play a little bit to one of my songs. So I'm basically doing a drum cover of myself, but the reason why I'm doing that is because of copyright claims and such on YouTube. I don't want to get one. So that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. All right, so that's how you can do it. No computer needed. Now, if you wanted to edit the video, there's plenty of mobile options. You know, on iPhone, the obvious being iMovie. You can just go in and edit it. You can add your own title and all that stuff, and you can upload through iMovie to YouTube or using the YouTube app. One thing I forgot to mention is you are going to need a 1/4 inch cable to run from your module to your iRig, but those are easy to get. I'll post links to all this stuff down below. And there are video editors for Android as well that you can use if you wanted to edit it on Android. But yeah, so you don't need a computer, really. I mean, it's better if you have a computer. You can get better quality, and it's easier to, you know, to kind of fine-tune things afterwards. But if this is all you have and all you can afford, it's totally doable. And you can get good at doing this too. This is just my first attempt at even trying this. You know, if you got, you know, more careful with the levels and all that stuff, I could always turn up my level of my CD player a little bit and have that a little bit louder in the mix. And, you know, the more you play with it, the better you'll get at it. So I encourage experimentation. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys really soon. Don't forget to check out my links down below. Later.